Hi, it's Tim from VBAdditive. Today I'm going to be showing you my open source macOS native LLM chat desktop chat client called FChat. So I made this because I'm sort of concerned about my privacy and I want to keep things as local as possible. I've got my own local AI system and it naturally led to me to looking at the open source clients. Wasn't very happy. Well, okay, I found small issues in all of them, ranging from not being very happy at all to what I saw to kind of just finding small annoying things, and I decided to make my own to fix this. So first what we're going to do is we're going to add a provider. This supports OpenAI responses and Anthropic messages APIs. These are built into the models that I use in VLLM. They should work with the upstream commercial providers as well, although I actually really couldn't care less about them. So let's hook it up to my internal system anyway. Oops. I think that's right. So, and now we're going to just get the models. So you have to test the connection, choose a model, and I'm just going to tune this to my liking here. And up this a bit. Oops. Okay, so that's done. So we've set up a provider called Magi, which is my local system. You can have multiple providers, absolutely. So you can set up another one and you can choose a default here. So before we make a chat, you can also add your own agent for chats. I've already added one here called Magi, and it's basically a copy. It's basically the same as the default one, but it tells it that it's called Magi. So this is the system prompt, or the bit of it that you can edit easily. Yeah. So let's go and start a chat. And as we can see, it works. We've got a thinking bubble here that collapses, and okay, this could have been a less depressing request, but like whatever, you know. So I'm just going to demonstrate that we have some tool calling here. It's pulling down information from the internet, first with a search and then by fetching individual web pages. And it's going to give me a summary of the global news today. 93 days is a bit longer than a couple of weeks, isn't it? But let's not make this political. Let's carry on. And, okay, so while that's filling out there, we mentioned tools. There are a few inbuilt tools: web search and web fetch. Current time, which tells you the exact time rather than just like prefixing the prompt with the day, like most of the commercial providers do. They also have something probably via a tool to tell the exact time as well. You can also make charts. We've got bar, line, or pie charts included by default. That will do that inline in the chat if you ask it. These two are usually disabled when in the shipping app, and you have to enable them yourself. So, yeah, we can see that's worked. So while it's doing that, let's Hey, there we go. So while it's doing that, we have reasoning settings here. So you can change those if you want. We also have some compaction settings here. It gives you metrics here, and you can do manual compaction. It tries to save the last 6 replies or whatever you've configured in settings. So if it's more than 6 replies, you can do a compaction, and it'll stop by taking away all the junk that the tools generate. If it gets over 80%, then it will automatically compacts, and that's pretty much what the other commercial clients do. So you can also see obviously the amount of tokens per request and like how long it took and the amount of tokens per second per request. But anyway, we can see it's made us a nice graph there of the US debt to GDP ratio. I'm not sure this is actually correct. That looks very, very, very high. So I'm not going to... Oh, historical average. But... okay, interesting. So they are in trouble anyway, whatever. I see. So they've added it on top. Right. I'm a bit tired. It's Sunday and I didn't get a lot of sleep because I was trying to finish this and fell asleep on the sofa again. So anyway, we'll come to collections, and this is basically RAG, and you can add documents to this. We support a few document types here, like PowerPoint, Word, Markdown, Jupyter notebooks, text files, PDF, sort of, source code, and a few other file formats that I can't remember. I'm just going to add a Word document here, though, because that's nice and easy. This uses an on-device model, Qwen 3 embedding 4B for the embedding. It doesn't ship it off somewhere else. What that does is it takes all the text in the document, breaks it down into pages, and makes it so that you just have the text in this case. We don't support multimodal ingestion yet, or multimodal, i.e. images, or anything other than text yet either. So that will probably come later. Anyway, we can see that's been successful. So now we can go back and say, please... if you have a whole bunch of documents, you can perform analysis on them. Like I put my pay slips for the last couple of years in this the other day, and it made a nice graph of how it hasn't really changed very much over the past few years. So, but it works. I have not enabled this per chat. This is actually a security feature, so you can enable different collections of documents per chat. I've just demonstrated that this works by accident, so that's really nice. Okay, let's do this again, please. So it hasn't rechecked properly. So it's assumed because of what it said before. Now it's looking properly. I know this is accurate because I wrote this review more than 20 years ago, maybe more than 25 years ago. So the price might be a bit different now. So. Okay, that obviously works, and we're just gonna go back and look at more stuff. Now, I'm not going to cover this now because it's a bit of a faff in an already long running video, but you can create or import your own skills. This has a sandbox which has Python in it as well as Bash. So it'll support skills that have Python and Bash scripts, and those are sandboxed. You can also create your own skill there. We also support MCP, we've got STDIO, we've got HTTP/HTTPS with either an API key or OAuth. Those are supported. I've tested this with Atlassian MCP and it works. There's also an about page that tells you a little bit about the client itself. Now, if we just go back to here, we obviously have multiple chats. You can fill this up with chats and have as many as you want, pretty much. You can import from OpenAI or Anthropic exports. So you can export all of your chats in Anthropic. I haven't done that, and I don't want you to see what I've been working on in my main job. But you can import them as a whole. Anthropic give you the option to dump all your conversations into a zip file. This will import them nicely and give you a wizard and allow you to select all or none, or like individual chats if you want them to. And the same should be true for OpenAI. I have not tested the OpenAI functionality there. I also wanted to say that you can enable skills on a per chat basis as well, or enable them globally, so that gives you a bit of control about how much stuff that you're dumping into the context. I think that's it more or less for now. The latest version is 0.44, released last night. So that's actually the first public version. I found one bug since then, which is that you can't delete the last provider in the list of providers if you wanted to. That's already fixed in main, so there'll probably be a small update release later today or this week, I guess. But that's it now. Thank you very much.